Welcome. It is no accident that you have found your way to the Release the Genie podcast. What would you do with 3 wishes? And what if you discovered that you are in fact that very genie that could grant them? Well, join us now as we discover who our next genie is as we listen in and learn the stories of triumph, inspiration, and passion with some very special guests. And now, without further delay, your host of the Release the Genie podcast, Mr. Paul Rogers.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're viewing this and where you are in the world. I have a great guest. You'll know him by sight because this guy is all over LinkedIn with his fantastic daily Reinvention Daily podcast. The beauty about this is a few things. First of all, it's really short and he actually just dives straight into the meat of it, and it's really addictive. So I know you're going to give him a very warm welcome, and it's really nice to see him on the other side of the camera as a guest rather than as the host. So welcome, Andrew Lopez. How are you doing today?
Good times, Paul. So glad to be here, my friend. I love all the stuff you have going on with the show and everything else, and it's a pleasure to be here. And it's interesting to be on the other side, man. I don't got the headphones; it's a different look, but I'm very excited to be here with you.
It's quite nice because I know how forensic you are in your stuff. So this is going to be a lot of fun for my good self on this. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you just went through it past a landmark 81 episodes. So tell us a little bit about Andrew.
Absolutely. Long story short, I started my business, Elevated Shorts, a year ago, September. And good little year anniversary, and been very excited about that. But the goal first was to run around with my camera and capture content, do the D-Rock style content for business owners here in Orange County, California. And it was going well. I had a good buddy that was helping me out, and capturing content, doing all that kind of stuff. And then, the famous whatever ordeal we are in right now approached us in March, and it forced me to put my camera away. And as you said, Reinvention Daily, my show, the reason why I call it that is because I had to reinvent myself and my business. And it's something that I should probably get tattooed on my arm here pretty soon, that word reinvention. But I had to figure out what to do with the cameras, the lights, the microphones, everything back in the closet. I had to sit here and think, what do I do? How do I change this? How do I keep pressing on? So late April rolls around, and I had a dear friend, and she used the word reinvention on a call, and I was like, I love that word. Will you be my first guest? And since April 22nd, man, we've had 4 seasons. We concluded our 4th season today, and that's kind of been it. It started out as a hobby. Who would have thought that a hobby during quarantine out here in California down by the beach would have turned into what it's turned into today. So that's kind of what it is. So my big reinvention has been, going from a videographer to a business screenwriter. And that's kind of been the personal reinvention into the professional reinvention, and where the show has come from.
That's a great story. And I'm sure a lot of people don't actually know you've had to do your reinvention as well. I suspect, is that why you sort of have so much empathy with your guests when they come on?
Absolutely, because we're all in the same place. Our dear friend Rob Sharkey would say we're on the ground floor, but to further that, we're all in the same place right now. I know we're all over the world, and that's where the first season I started with people that were more local, and then the second season I was like, I'm going to start having people from all over the world, because we're all in that same position. We're all having to reinvent. Not every single guest has reinvented. I've had people say, Andrew, I haven't reinvented my business, but I've reinvented myself. I've been working out more. I've lost 10 pounds. I've read 10 books. So it's all reinvention. And that's where there's a beauty to that, because you're right. We're all doing it in some way, shape, or form all across the globe. It's not like this has only happened in the United States or this has only happened in Canada. Like, this is a global thing, and we all can embrace that same word in some way, shape, or form. So it fascinates me. People that I've been able to connect with, as an extrovert, someone who goes to networking events, someone who goes to anything that I can, being a part of a business club in town, I've gotten more value virtually being an introvert in the last 5 months than I have ever shaken hands at a networking event. And it's just phenomenal how that works through the power of just the virtual and the show and just LinkedIn. And it's just huge. It's amazing. So yes, I empathize with everybody because we are all in that same place.
And I really do love the word, the reinvention, because, and I've heard various other guests or retooling and stuff, but reinvention really hits because, as you say, it means so many things to so many different people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's like what I say about success. You know, an old Jenna Viviano, she's a LinkedIn, does a lot of good stuff on LinkedIn and a career coach. And she always would say, you know, success isn't one specific way. And I heard her say that 2 years ago, and I've always resonated with that. And that's something that I say a lot. And it's kind of like reinvention isn't one specific way. It could be whatever you want it to be. And I think that's the beauty of it, as you were saying. It's what you make of it. It's creating that experience, right? This is what I've done with Reinvention. What have you done with Reinvention? So, as I like to say, the show has become a place, a meeting place or a watering hole, if you will, where I just say my goal is to facilitate collaboration and start conversation through the power of a 3-minute show every day.
That's awesome. And I've watched quite a few of you, and there's always this really good vibe going on. It's a sort of it's like having an espresso of positivity in the day. Look at that. You can use that again in your marketing. Espresso.
Yeah, that's genius. I love how you said that. You're very right. And I'm an espresso drinker myself, but it's just, with all the content, there's so much amazing content out there right now. And as I've said multiple times too, people are listening, people are paying attention, people are here to be understood, especially right now. So it's that same concept. I'm so thankful for the people who tune in, the people who engage, the people who follow, because they're giving me 3 minutes of their time, but they're giving the guests 3 minutes of their time. But it's also just a place to engage. You know, it's one common theme. What's the conversation that you want to start? Every guest can answer that question. And it's a right place for people just to connect on that conversation and then connect further and start their own conversation. So it's again, as I always say, it's funny just how something so simple can turn into so much more so fast. And I think that's what's been the biggest thing. And it's been the guests, it's been the viewers, the engagers, and that have made it what it's truly become. I'm just the host. As I joke out here, you know, I'm just the Chris Harrison or the Ryan Seacrest, man. I'm just the host. I'm just the guy who's got the screen and the canvas squares and the same jacket, because I'm here to provide the platform.
It's wonderful. And anyone who can watching can see that there's a real passion there. It's not sort of, oh, this is my day job or a side hustle. This is the real deal. So that's wonderful. Tell me, what was one of your aha moments? Because I'd love to know what actually was how you decided that you were going to come out as the genie out of the lamp. So talk us through something on what was sort of your aha moment.
The aha moment for the show, or just the aha moment for the reinvention?
You can pick one or both. I don't mind.
Okay. I mean, the aha moment I think I alluded to with just reinvention was we had no choice. You know, we could have sat back, you know, I could have sat back in March when it happened out here in California at the beginning of March. And I could have just sat back and, you know, I watched a good amount of Hulu for the first couple of weeks, as we all did. And I was kind of waiting, twiddling my thumbs, you know, where it's going to go. But then it got to the point where I was like, we can't just sit and wait. We don't know. And we're still kind of here. And we just don't know where this is going to go. So the aha moment for me just with the reinvention was just, I got to do something. I have to do something about it. And I don't know what that is, but I'm just going to put myself out there and give myself a try. And I think that was the one thing that really just got me to do it and push play. And then just with Reinvention Daily, the aha moment came, I think, in season 2. Season 1 was just that trial, like, okay, this is working. I was kind of, you know, scrambling. There would be a day where I would, you know, film it at 5 p.m. and then I would post it the next morning and edit it myself. And I think the aha moment, for the show was in season 2 when I realized, okay, I've done this 23 times for season 1 already. I now have some international guests. I started getting an international following. It's like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing because of the relevance, but also because it's something that people can talk about. People can be expressive and vulnerable about. Yeah, I've had to reinvent my business, or I've had to reinvent something right now. Or what do you want to talk about right now? I'll tell you what I want to talk about. It's just, it's picking on those things where it's not superficial. It's still kind of deep, but at the same time, it's short enough where you can really sit back and be like, wow, they had a powerful message today. I would love to engage with them further. connect and do all that kind of stuff. So those are kind of my two ahas. It started before, but then it was around season 2 for the show when I realized like, okay, I got something here. And then, season 5 starts in 2 weeks, and here we are, man. Season 5 coming at you,
Awesome stuff. I mean, we hear a lot if we tune into the mainstream media of how bad things are, how everything is, going to hell in a handbasket. And yet what you've got is actually, you've got the antidote. You've got a positive tale of using something.
Yeah, I mean, it means the world to hear you say that, Paul, but also it's just, I think it's a choice. We have a choice to do. I know there's things we can't control. I know there's things that, it's what I say. I think I remember sharing the song with you recently. It's the song Unlost by the Main, control what you can, confront what you can't. And I think that's one thing that song's been one of my favorites for so long. And hearing that now, it's like, okay, I'll control what I can in Reinvention Daily and Elevated Shorts and the people around me. I can control those relationships, and I can control what I do with the business, but everything else, you can't. And not to sound like a downer, but there's things that we just can't control, and we just have to confront that and accept that. So I think there's been a lot of just acceptance in the sense of just, I'm going to do what I want to do for me, but also I see where this can go. Yeah. But again, it comes down to that word, the C word. I made the choice.
Yeah.
We all have the power to choose when we want to. And I'm someone who believes in people, sees potential in people, but when they're ready to make the choice. I think that's the biggest thing. You can force people all day long and it doesn't work. So I think I made that choice to just continue on and press on every day. And I make the choice every day still.
That's lovely. And I can see, and anyone watching can see why you've got such a sort of a following now, because it's refreshing hearing you say that. So, you've already mentioned that your song there, but is that your quote, or is there another quote that really sort of gets you going?
There's a lot. I'm someone who I love film, I love TV, but as a musician and someone who writes music and writes all the time, and some recent projects that are coming up just creatively are evolved around music and singing. Music has moved me the most. So that song by The Main, there's another song by a band. It's one of my favorite bands. Quick side note, my mom raised me to be an 80s kid, even though I was born in 1992. So I'm fascinated with just the British, new wave. And there's a band, a bunch of guys that are my age, called the 1975. And they have a song. They're from Manchester. They've been around for, 6-7 years now. And they have a song called Give Yourself a Try off their album 2 albums ago. And it's just this millennial anthem, but just that phrase in the chorus, give yourself a try. It's something that I should also get tattooed on my arm, but I embrace that. I've known the song for 2 years, but tapping into that song a couple months ago and giving myself a try with the show and everything else that I have going on. It's just, once you do that, once you put yourself out there, it's a lot easier once you actually take the leap.
No, you're absolutely right. There's a sort of don't stand on the fringes, get in the water. It's lovely type approach. So,
exactly.
So I know you've got your hands full with season 5 coming up, but is there any other sort of projects you're working on? Or is all your attention on that at the moment?
No, I got something that I'm ready to share. It's around reinvention. So I have season 5, which will start airing here in the next couple weeks. Feel free for those watching to tune in and let me know. Just join in the conversation. That's step 1. Just be a part of the conversation. And if you want to be a guest, you know where to find me. But I actually have something. So as a business screenwriter, I help a lot of people with video ideation and kind of what to say, if you will. So that's kind of the big thing with the business screenwriting is I was doing some creative stuff over the last couple of months, and it's hard right now because you can't hit people with too much. People want a simple, but also you gotta kind of break it up a little bit. So the one thing that I'm ready to share and I've been working on is something just called the Reinvention miniseries. I've actually put together a 6-part video miniseries all based around reinvention. So it's for those who are looking to get into video for the first time, or also maybe looking to get it into video again, on LinkedIn or on social media platforms. And it's basically just a pre-written kind of utilize reinvention, join in on the parade of reinvention. And 2 of the videos actually would be, 2 of the questions on the show. But it's for people, who are looking to kind of get out there with video, press play. You can use your iPhone, you can use your MacBook, you can use your iPad, whatever it is that you have. And it's just getting that message out. How have you reinvented your business? What's the conversation you want to start? What's your industry look like now? It's 6 bite-sized videos, 60 seconds. It's more of a, as like a business screenplay. It's something that can get people started out there and kind of get over the hump and then get on the engagement train, or the engagement machine, as I like to call it. Everything just, when you have a video and you engage back, it just turns into so much more. So yeah, the Reinvention mini series is something that I got, and I'm ready to kind of share that with everybody else now. So that's been one of the big projects. And then just on the personal side, I got a couple fun things for Instagram coming up. I do all my singing, my dancing, my creative stuff on Instagram. So I've got some fun little musical projects coming up over the next couple weeks, the next couple months. So that's another fun project. But as far as Elevated Shorts, yeah, just Reinvention Daily Season 5 and the Reinvention miniseries.
That is awesome. And as I was listening to you, I just kept saying, thank the Lord you took the choice and you went with what you've gone, because it's giving so much back. And in a time where people aren't, looking for inspiration and help and things, you've taken the temperature of the sort of the climate really well. And no, hats off to you, man. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. I know it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to get like the finished product. So good for you. I'm impressed. I'm a fan, of course. So I'll declare that now straight off the bat. So so we come to the real good part of the show, which I really enjoy, because I get to ask the guest Genie today for 3 wishes. And so are you ready, Genie?
Yeah. I think I got it. I think.
So number 1, the first wish is, what is the best advice you have ever received in your life?
Oh man, the best advice that I've received in my life recently goes out to my dear friend Arch Houston. He is a mentor and a business and emotional leadership coach here in San Diego, and I was a part of his program the last couple months. And one of the greatest gifts that he gave me, that I've given myself, is the gift of self-forgiveness. Man, there's so much out there that is around us, and there's all these trapped emotions. So the greatest advice that Arch Houston gave me was, Andrew, it's okay to forgive yourself. And a lot of this personal reinvention before the show was a lot of self-forgiveness. So I would stamp that. And that's a recent thing, and I've gotten a lot of great advice, but that is one thing that has absolutely moved me and leveled me, is just, you can always forgive yourself. And in the greatest gift that you can give yourself is the gift of self-forgiveness, hands down.
You see, I think any tattooist watching this is going to be writing all these notes down, and they're going to be like, okay, so at the moment we're up to 3 tattoos. Let's see what. So you're giving without even knowing. There's somebody there thinking this is going to be great. So no, I love it. I mean, forgiveness and self-forgiveness is really, really critical and very misunderstood. And so I love the fact that you've embraced it, and it's a fantastic piece of advice. And I can see it's a natural connection with the reinvention.
Absolutely. It took 28 years, but here it is, here it is. And because of that, I've grown more personally and professionally in the last 6 months than I have in my entire 28 years on this planet. And a lot of that, again, is due to the self-forgiveness, man. Powerful.
Awesome. That's great. I mean, I could actually pack my stall up now if I wanted to for that. But I'm gonna push on with number 2, because I know this is going to be something which would be quite interesting. It's like, what advice would you give your younger self?
I mean, I would tell myself to give myself
a tattoo.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't have any tattoos yet. I would tell myself to look back and to give myself a try. There's actually a lot of things that I wanted to do in my younger years that I was too afraid to do. Whether that be, going to a certain college, or playing sports more, or actually just not following into the traps of what other people wanted me to do, and actually just chase my creative side and do more with music. So I would look back at my younger self, younger Andrew, and say, man, just give yourself a try. Just do it. use Nike's famous phrase, but also just to use the 1975 again, just, give yourself a try. Don't be afraid. If you fail, it happens, man. And I think that's the one thing where now at 28, I'm able to do all that. And that's where a lot more freedom is. But going back, I would simply just, that those 4 words, give yourself a try, Andrew, just believe in yourself and it's going to be all right.
No, and I can see the links to obviously the forgiveness that lots of people don't give themselves a try because they're worried, am I going to make a mistake? But if you can forgive yourself, there are no mistakes because you're immediately erasing that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I love it. Well, no, okay, we're going to move into number 3, and this is going to be interesting for anyone watching. It's like, what one personal habit do you have which you think attributes to your success?
At this point, I mean, I'm giving you two deep things, but I think it comes down to just the belief in myself. I think that is something where, self-forgiveness, give yourself a try, but you have to believe in yourself first. Even before you give yourself the try, you have to believe in yourself. And I think after all these years and just seeing with what has happened with the show and where I'm going with Elevated Shorts, it's because I believe in myself. It's not that I think that I'm the greatest thing in the world or anything like that. I just believe that I can do it now. And in the past, I would have been like, nah, man, I'm going to fail. You can't do it. Your biggest enemy is yourself. And I just think when you believe in yourself and you're willing to put yourself out there, that's what it is, man. I believe in myself and what I'm doing and the message that I'm trying to share. So it's a lot easier to execute with these ideas or execute with these projects because I believe in all of it. I don't do things that I don't believe in anymore. And I just mean that in the sense of if I'm not feeling it or if I'm not fully believing in what it is or my capability, I won't chase it yet. I know in this world, it's not a matter of time. It's always a matter of timing. And I think that was the thing in the past is the timing wasn't right. I might've had the awareness or I might've had the ability to take action, but the timing wasn't right. So I think it's just the timing for me now is just, I'm able to believe in myself. I'm able to take action. And that's what's been really, really, what's guided my recent, we'll call it success, or just the recent just fire that I have for everything going on.
Well, I'm listening to you. I am excited about what comes next because it's like you've had the blinkers taken off and you've suddenly got this huge awareness of, no, I'm doing this. And if it doesn't fit within what I want, I'm not going to distract myself. I'm just going to stay focused on what my purpose is. And is that fair to say that that's sort of how I captured the mood right, do you think there?
You nailed it. Another thing, to go back to my dear friend Arch Houston, another thing that I've learned is going off kind of what you just said is it's all about purpose versus performance. And I think a lot of us get caught up in the performance before all of this, the whole lockdown because we were busy performing. It also aligns with you and Rob say with the ground floor. We were so focused on performance and we were so focused on going a certain way. And then now we're back to just what is our purpose. And I think that's the reinvention to circle everything that we've talked about today is just purpose over performance. And I think I've found the purpose for me right now with everything with the business, but even just with the personal stuff. So it's a question I would just love to ask anybody is, to quote Arch, are you doing this for purpose? Are you doing this for performance? And where on that gradient does that live?
That's amazing. And that's such a great advice to anyone who's sort of struggling with that because it's not easy. It does take the time. Fantastic. I'm excited for you. And so I can't wait for season 5. And I hope we talk in sort of years to come and we will look back and say, oh yeah, that was just the beginning.
I hope so, man. I'm thankful every day. I used to be someone who used to get so caught up in the future, and I take life day by day, and I have stuff on my calendar for the next couple of weeks. Yes, but what I mean is I embrace everything that happens: beauty, joy, sadness, terror, anxiety. I embrace it all because I want to know how everything feels. I tap into that. I want to feel it all. I want to make the decisions. Because I have the knowledge or the emotional intelligence for it. So that's been a big thing too. So yeah, embrace it all. Bring it on.
Awesome. Fearless, my friend. And So where can we find you? I know that you you stalk LinkedIn like a predator. So where can we find you?
I mean, you nailed it. That's the best place. LinkedIn. Andrew Lopez is my name. It's one of the most common baby names in 1992, and it's a very common surname also. So if you just type in Elevated Shorts on LinkedIn, you'll see me. But yeah, I'd love to have you just. I'd love to for people just to join in on the conversation. But yeah, LinkedIn is the best place. My email is andrew@elevatedshorts.com. Those are kind of the two best things. I'm still tinkering on getting up a full website for the business. But yeah, LinkedIn is just everything. I spend so much time on the website. It's probably the greatest that I've ever been on, especially now. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, look, thank you very much. I am so pleased that we have been able to get you out from under the microphone and the headphones and actually get to see the real Andrew, which has been, I can speak for everyone, just an amazing experience. And I thank you so much.
Absolutely, Paul. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun, my friend. And I thank you for your enthusiasm, your time, and your trust in me.
It's all reciprocated, my fine fellow. So anyone who has not seen Andrew in action, series 5 is coming, season 5. So plenty of time, plenty of juice left in this guy. And so join in now. And as he says, get in at the ground floor. And I just want to say thank you very much once again.
Absolutely. Paul, cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. See you next time, everyone.
Well, that's a wrap. You have been listening to yet another episode of the Release the Genie podcast with host Paul Rogers. Be sure to follow Paul on the LinkedIn platform and learn more of Paul's resources at www.takeactionacademy.ca. And until next time, as always, be mindful and be sure to release your genie. Thanks for listening.